All right, all right, all right. Here we are, back from the studio McNamara at the Villa. We are remote again, letting things go a little while longer. And oh man, we're just going to roll right into this. The technical difficulties just seem to be flooding in, and there's no opening monologue now. We just can go right to the man, the myth, the legend on the road, moving on the motorway. Rod, how we doing, brother? Do we got you? Ugh, sugar. Not again. Not again. Ugh. Is the Bluetooth off? Let's give a thumbs up or down. Thumbs up, sugar. It still can't work. What the heck is going on here? We're gonna try one more time, and then we're just gonna go old school. Luckily, I got the phone on me here, and we're just gonna call him in. I got nothing. Let's see if I can try. Oh, muted to unmuted. No. Sugar. Riverside, what the heck? This is not throwing any shade at you. You guys are putting a lot of time and effort into building your application and everything, but we have been having some real difficulties here 2 weeks running now from any correspondence outside of just the desktop. Sugar. Okay. Rod, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call you on the telephone, and we'll dive right in. We'll just go old school again. All right, brother. Thanks a bunch. All right. So we're going to get Rod out of here as I'm dual hatting here. Hope everyone's doing well. Thanks for coming to the show again, as always. Our very loyal and intimate fan base that is following the show. Let's get Rod here on the horn, and we will talk all things ball. Let's get Rod going here.
Justin.
Oh, there he is. Roderick Dave, the man, the myth, the legend. How the heck we doing, brother?
I am good. Hopefully, I was able to reconnect the Bluetooth and get connected to the car. Everybody can know I am driving safe. I am hands-free. It is raining a little bit, so if you hear anything in the background, just a little bit of rain. But we are rocking and rolling on the way home from 2.5 days in Nashville at the Personnel and Recruiting Symposium. So I have been neck deep in football for the past couple of days, and excited to talk to you today.
Oh, fantastic! How was it there in Nash Vegas? A lot of what NDAs that need to be signed, just like the Taylor and Travis wedding that we just can't talk about, or was everyone well behaved and everything was classy?
You know, I think what happens on Broadway stays on Broadway.
Love that.
I felt like the really old man because it was 10 o'clock and I was back in my room in bed. Now, I can't say that was the case for everybody else from the 1,500 personnel people from across the cross-country college and NFL that were there, but a lot of really good stuff happened. It was very fruitful, very great, as always, to see a lot of our colleagues in this business.
Oh, defo, yeah, and really just cool to see it. You know, the space grow, right? Back when we were getting W-2s from football clubs with LLCs that are franchised in the National Football League. This college thing has just exploded. In terms of building out more robust, bigger staffs. So awesome to see something like this. Has grown to what it is, and everyone can just keep getting better in the space, right? Iron sharpens iron, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome sauce. Well, thanks, Rod, for calling in, especially on the road to make the appearance of the FOFS pod. We kind of got a short and fast episode today, but you are the main feature as football is back. National Football League is back. Training camps are reported. We got a Hall of Fame game tomorrow, if memory serves me right, down the street here from Erie, Pennsylvania, and Canton, Ohio. Where us Erieites will be proud and excited to see I don't know if he'll play, but he'll certainly be there in James Conner. Interesting to see that depth chart and how it's stacked there at the running back position. We're cheering for him. We're rooting for him. But all to say, NFL is back. We're super excited. And as we know, the most important position in the National Football League is the quarterback position. Did you get a chance to see the Athletics, which seems to be a fun annual posting of their tiered list? Have you had a chance to see that?
Yeah, fun is certainly a word for it. I did take a look at it. I certainly agree with some of it. As you can imagine, I disagree with some of it, and we'll talk about two of those guys here today, right?
Oh, you better believe it. Well, just wanted to make sure that I know it would have gotten around and been in conversation. I'll put it up here on the graphic for everyone to see. So we've got, looks like 4 tiers here now from 50 executives, coaches across the league, and how they rank 35 veteran quarterbacks. Tier 1 being the elite. I love the color coding too, Rod. I don't know if you got a chance to see it. Like, looked eerily familiar to those of a Belichickian discipleship, right?
Yeah, it does look familiar.
With the blues and everything. I see an excellent and rare. I see a very good. I see a above average and average color coding scheme, but never mind. So here we are there with the list, and just wondered when you were looking at it, who do you think was overvalued on the list? Looking at the 4 tiers as they're up on the screen.
Yeah, it's tough because overvalue is, the top 3, I think, are the top 3. Again, it tells you something that when the executives got together, they really view 3 guys as elite.
Yep.
We like to throw that term around a lot, and it's, the term elite is certainly overused. You can see that second tier. I am surprised how big that second tier, and the guys that I'm overvaluing in that group were really 2 guys, and Brock Purdy.
Yes.
I like Brock Purdy for what he is, but again, he is not a tier 2 quarterback in that group. I certainly would have slid him down, and then though his team got to the Super Bowl, I'm not ready to put Drake May where he's at either. I really like Drake May. I had him as the second best quarterback. Maybe would have been my quarterback 1 with Caleb Williams questions. I think there's still a ton of upside. I'm just not ready to put him where he is at, and really above some of those guys on the list where he was. So those 2 guys, for me, I was a little surprised where they were ultimately valued on this list.
Yeah, right there with you. Those were the 2 that jumped out to me. I just don't know, and it's here just to stimulate conversation, albeit, of course, genuine and authentic, like Dak Prescott. How does he still kind of keep hanging around there, in what's labeled and ranked as the 7th best quarterback in the league there, tier 2. I get it, the numbers are great, and yeah, he may not have the world-class defense supporting him here, certainly the last couple of years ever since DQ left, but I don't know. That was one that I thought, Dak at 7, I'm right there with you with Drake and Drake May and Brock Purdy, but Dak just seemed a little high for me.
Yeah, I think that's about where Dak belongs. I like Dak. I think he certainly belongs in front of some of these quarterbacks. I think that's a good spot for him. I want to see him stay healthy. For the longest time, we saw a good offensive line in front of him. It's been an unfortunate arc where as Dak has started to have some of his better seasons, these have also been some of the lesser lines that the Dallas Cowboys have had, and hopefully under Coach Schottenheimer the second year they get that back right. They can keep Dak healthy, because what we saw when Dak was healthy last year was an MVP candidate.
Yeah, good job.
Obviously,
good job.
Came unglued for a bit, as the year went. But I think that 7 to 10 range, I think, is a really good spot for Dak Prescott.
Well, as my guy Colin Cowherd says, new information, new opinion. I love the new information that you're throwing on me there, Rod. So I like that. I'm gonna reel that one back and X out him being overvalued because, yeah, you've convinced me. Drake May, Brock Purdy, though, definitely agree with you 100% there. Who on this list do you think was undervalued? Who's not getting enough appreciation? You already know what I'm going to say, and all of our listeners know as well. There at number 28.
That one, until it falls over. No, I'm going to quarterback 19 and 20 on this list. Two guys that I would buy stock on. One both short and long term, and then the other one short term. Aaron Rodgers is still, I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. Yes, he has not had the year. I think the Steelers have done some good things. I think they're going to look much better on offense this year. I think Coach McCarthy being back there, I think we are going to see a top 10 quarterback once again in Aaron Rodgers. Yes, he is not the Aaron Rodgers of Green Bay, but I think we are going to see a resurgent Aaron Rodgers. I'm certainly moving him up on the list. And then the guy right there with him, C.J. Stroud. I am buying stock on C.J. Stroud. Yes, we've seen him struggle. They're going to have more continuity. That offensive line is going to take shape. I am absolutely buying stock on C.J. Stroud. I'm putting him, again, I think he belongs in the 10 to 15 range. Again, I'm certainly putting him in front of some of these guys, Trevor Lawrence, Caleb Williams, Brock Purdy. He has not obviously got the track record of Dak, which is why I'm keeping him behind there. But again, this is a quarterback that I think highly of, and I think he's going to have a big bounce back year this year.
Oh, right there with you. And to all our listeners here, and this is one of the main reasons Rod and I get along so well. We're seeing things 9 out of 10 times on the same track, right there, other than Kirk Cousins, right? So that's why we're 1 out of 10. But regardless, right there with you, brother, on A-Raj, like, was just having some conversations with friends, about his fun little rant that he had with his buddies coming to Latrobe there in the Pat McAfee show, and you can just see something is happening there in a good way, where we're going to be full on ayahuasca. Aaron Rodgers just letting it rip on the farewell tour with the guy he started with, and Mike McCarthy. I think that's definitely someone that's undervalued, and we will be hearing and seeing all kinds of short clips of reminders this year with Stephen A. Smith saying that he is a bad man. We are going to be reminded of that this year. I'm 1,000% with you. And I don't mean to beat the dead horse. We already know what my thoughts are on Kirko, so I'm hoping that proves to be true and there's an undervalued there. But on this list, a little bit of a dovetail off this topic of who's undervalued. Is there anyone else on this list that's going to surprise everyone, that fans are going to be watching, people are going to be watching the league, even these 50 executives, right, are going to be looking at this list and being like, wow, this guy definitely surprised me. Did not expect him to punch above his weight and be playing more than what he's ranked here on this list.
No, again, I think outside of those guys, I thought it was a pretty good list. I think the one guy that I am still thinking could move himself up this list is Trevor Lawrence. I think he could end up pushing towards the top of that tier 2 list. Again, I think what that offense is going to do now, whether Jacksonville as a team is successful, if they can win games, I think he's going to play as good a football this year as we've seen him play consistently. I like Trevor Lawrence. He just brings too many good traits and intangibles to the table. He would be the one other guy, like, hey, he's in the right tier. I just think he's really going to make a push towards the top of that tier by the end of this year.
Rob, this is insane. Like, we need to start making sure we share notes before we get on, because this is it's so authentic and real. That's who I dubbed as well. I think Sunshine is due for a big year. Seems to have really good rapport there with Cohen and the as the play caller. But the other one that I think, and this it's not Kirko, but one that I think is worth talking about, I would love your take, is do we see Kyler Murray be put in an unbelievable situation in Minnesota with OC, Justin Jefferson, Hawkinson, all of them. Do you think Addison? I could go on with the weapons they've got there. Especially the play caller. Like, I got the reminder the other day. Like, I still was aghast when they went 9-8 last year. Like, with that defense that they've got, is Kyler just going to be in a spot to, catch folks by surprise and, ball out? Just curious your take there.
Yeah, so I am still on the, and there's a number of different reasons, both, competition-wise, team-wise. I think J.J. McCarthy starts this season as the quarterback for this roster. And I am not buying in on the Kyler Murray stuff yet. Maybe J.J. starts the year, doesn't have success. Kyler gives him a spark. But I think we have seen what Kyler is and what Kyler isn't. He is certainly not a guy that I am real excited about. Again, it's a big year. As we talked about last time we were together, it's a big year for the Minnesota Vikings. KOC is going to have to push the right buttons. Is Kyler Murray week one that button? I don't think so. I think we see J.J. McCarthy traded if that's the case, and the time to trade him, in my opinion, would have already happened. You don't want to go through that quarterback competition and try to unload him at 53 times. So I don't think Kyler's going to be the guy we see a lot of this year unless things are really, really going south in Minnesota.
Wow. So there it is. 9 out of 10, we're on it. And then there's these 1 out of 10 things where, albeit your stuff is gold, and I'm throwing out stuff for the stars with Kirko. But wow, love that take. Let's switch gears here, just so you can you not have too much time on the phone there, and you're supposed to be focused on the road and staying safe, especially with the bad weather. Over to college football. One of the things in our sport, coaching staffs are always turning over, but it seems like college, it's going out of style, and it's saying something when it comes to the NFL and how much turnover happens there. But it's a lot more recycle, where college is just crazy. With some of the new staffs are in place. Which one are you most excited to see this upcoming fall on Saturdays?
Yeah, man, it's got to be Lane Kiffin down at LSU. For as ugly and awkward and weird as it is to leave your team in the playoffs, Lane Kiffin can run an offense. He can run a program. I think LSU is a great fit for him. He's got some really fun pieces on that roster. I think that Lane Kiffin LSU offense is going to put up some numbers. I think they are going to be a really fun team to watch this year, and I think they're going to push for a college football playoff spot. I think they will. Wow. They are going to have some high-scoring games as Lane Kiffin teams do, but I am excited to see what he does with that LSU program, and I think that is going to be a team to watch and a new staff that is going to be. It's going to be fun to go to Death Valley again for ESPN, for game day, for everybody involved.
It's just good for football when the Tigers are competitive. So I love that take. Shout out to a former brother of ours and Charlie Weiss Jr. Doing great things there. I like that take a lot. I'm right there with you and excited to see how that goes. And from what you're hearing, you just came from a gathering of peers and contemporaries. Any buzz, anything you're hearing about a player that's just projecting to have a big year? Someone that strap in, get ready. This guy is about to blow the top off on this thing and take college football by storm.
Yeah, I mean, there's everybody there has a player on their team that they know, they believe in, that they really like, that they is going to be the next guy. Again, unanimous Jeremiah Smith saying, yeah, he's the best player in the country. There's a lot of Cam Coleman at Texas with what that roster has put together, what Sark has put together there, Arch Manning. Their GM got up and spoke multiple times that the plan looking at this roster, have been 2026 Cam Coleman coming over from Auburn was a big piece of that. And I like Cam Coleman. He's my second best wide receiver I've seen as I've kind of started to get into 2027 tape. They're expecting big things from him, and there is some excitement that again, one of those players I wanted to go down to Austin to see, but there's some excitement about that Texas roster and Cam Coleman specifically.
Cam Coleman, I love that. Love that. Yeah, we've talked ad nauseum, and it's all our peers are contemporary and Jeremiah Smith's greatness. I like the Cam Coleman. You heard it here first, listeners. Cam Coleman, big breakout player. One that I just want to pile. I'm excited to see CJ Carr. That's forgive me for being over the top as a Catholic and lover of the Domers there in South Bend, but I'm excited to see CJ Carr. I'm hoping there's big things in store for that kid.
Yeah, if he can just take away some of those boneheaded plays that a high school quarterback makes. Again, we saw it in the A&M game. We saw it a few different times throughout the year. Like, hey man, just eat it. Just take a sack. Take -2. Don't do something. If he can just do that, you're talking about a serious Heisman candidate, and is going to have Coach Freeman's team there. Get back in the playoff where they belong.
That's right. Love that. And then lastly, just as a, who are the newcomers that college football hasn't heard about yet? What are you hearing in terms of the buzz of, and by newcomers, right? That could be a broad term. That could be viewed as transfer. But I'm more anxious about the pups. Who's the Jeremiah Smith that stepped onto campus that there's all the whispers happening in Nashville and across the communities of like, now there's a guy here, like this kid's for real, and you're about to see why we gave him all that money out of high school to come and play for us.
Yeah, I mean, there are some young offensive line prospects across the country. That was the one position, and I don't have a specific name. Everybody seemed to talk about, man, we really like this young kid. He's only a sophomore. He's only maybe a redshirt freshman. He's going to be a first-year starter for us. But, man, he's tall, he's long, he's athletic. He can do all these things. So I think, we're seeing it at the NFL level. We're seeing it at the college level. Teams are investing in the trenches. And there's some teams really excited about some young offensive linemen who are going to step in and play really well. And again, there's some teams that certainly are going to probably live or die by that offensive line. But I know there's certainly a buzz for some of these young, athletic, long offensive tackles.
Love it, absolutely love it. It's too bad Joey Mack couldn't be here helping produce, himself being a former Wisconsin Badger, Akron Zip, playing in the trenches. He would be salivating over that news, knowing that is gaining a lot of traction, becoming more a part of the conversation of the Dancing Bears and the Big Uglies on the interior, creating more chatter. And for those that are purists and lovers of the sports, watch the inside. That's where it all happens. That's where everything's decided. So awesome. Love that take. Well, Rod, as always, thanks, brother. Really appreciate you for coming on. Safe travels back. And for all new listeners we've got, let them know where can they find you. Where can they find you on Right Step Advising and all the greatness that is Roderick David.
Yeah, I love coming on here. You can check me out. Find me on Twitter at RightStepADV. That's my company, Right Step Advising. RSAFootball.com is the website. And make sure you check out my podcast, Scouting the League. We had Kevin Kelly at Clemson on. We've had Sean Heinlein of the Falcons on next week. Going Midwest, Tyler Barnes, GM, Chief of Staff of the Iowa Hawkeyes. So it's going to be a really fun conversation with him.
Oh, awesome. Well, thanks, Rod, for coming on as always, brother. Really appreciate you, and especially now having to weather the storm, no pun intended, with the technical difficulties. So thanks, brother. Stay safe. All my best to the family. Talk soon, brother.
Definitely talk soon.
Cheers, man. Just the best. Just the best. I'd love to see like a roll-up of my sign-off every time with Rod or the Keystone Prophet or Mark or Kyle, any of the guests we have on. Just can't say enough thanks. Rod, truly special in my heart, mate. Thanks for coming on. We don't have a terrorist today. We are just American football. It's only fitting that we don't have a terrorist to talk global football. It is kind of in a dragging time of year with the sport, so not much topic to speak of. So short and sweet. Keep it quick, clear, and concise. Thanks everyone for stopping by, as always, to the Fields of Friendly Strife. I'm Justin Schaff, and have a great rest of the week. We will see you next time.